rich, creamy, delicious. Today I'm going to make a simple Irish potato soup. It's inexpensive, easy to do, and quite filling. So I've got 4 russet potatoes that are pretty decent size. Half of them are peeled and half of them are not. This is going to be a chunky soup. I like leaving the jackets on some of the potatoes. It adds texture and flavor. It's just my preference. And this is 2 large onions that are coarsely diced, 3 celery stalks that are coarsely diced. We are going to make a roux from butter and flour. And then finally, we are going to season this with salt and pepper. And of course, we're going to use half and half to give it a nice creamy flavor. So I'm using my Ninja PossibleCooker Pro, and I've got it set at 350 on bake. And you're like, wait, you're not baking these potatoes? No, but I am going to get this water to boil and cook these potatoes. And I find starting it at 350 gets it up to heat quicker. So the potatoes are in there. And I just want to fill this. Yeah, see, I had that pan hot. I just wanted to fill this so that it just covers the potatoes. That looks good. I'm going to throw in some salt because potatoes need salt. That's good. That was about a tablespoon, maybe not quite, half a tablespoon of salt. And then I'm just going to put this lid on here. Once it gets to a boil, I'll turn it down to probably high on slow cook, and it'll sit there and simmer those potatoes. We want these potatoes just to get fork tender, and maybe not even that much because it's going to cook some more. I'll be checking on this and I'll let you know how it goes. So these potatoes are about done. They're just getting fork tender. They're about ready to go. So I'm going to just cook my onions and celery together. I'm not trying to really brown them or anything, just get them a little translucent. So that was a whole stick of butter. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to that. A good bit of salt came out there. I guess that's about 2 teaspoons. And then also probably about 2 teaspoons of black pepper as well. Let me stir this in. Those vegetables coated well with the butter. They're just going to sit here and cook a little bit. Like I said, I'm not trying to brown them, just get them translucent a little bit. Okay, let's give these onions a stir. Alright, so these onions and celery here are starting to get nice and tender and soft and translucent. I've been stirring it frequently so that trying to avoid it from browning. There might be a little bit of browning happening there, but not much. This is not about browning anything. So I'm going to add some flour to this and make a little bit of a roux. So there's a whole stick of butter in there. We just want this flour to cook or it's just going to taste like paste. Flour and butter, that roux, has coated these onions well. And the nice thing about doing it like this is you don't have to worry about things being lumpy, because it's going to tighten up what we've got in the pan. And then on top of that, the starch that's in the potatoes is going to tighten things up a bit. Yeah, you can see that flour is starting to turn lightly brown from the roux. You pretty much want to stir this kind of frequently. So my Aunt Vicky suggested that I make this potato soup. She gave me the recipe for it. I thought it was really good, so I said, yeah, I'll cook it. I liked it a lot. What do you put in your potato soup? I know some families have traditions around potato soup. What about yours? My mom never really cooked it much, so tell me about your family. These potatoes are done, they're just right, and I'm going to add this right in here. Like that. So I'm just going to stir this up. Yeah, see, the potatoes are breaking down a bit. And that roux is mixing with that water and the potatoes. And it's getting nice and thick. Very thick. Now, the next thing I want to do is add some garlic. In fact, I should have added the garlic to the onions. That was about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. That should be really nice. Once that starts getting hot down in here, that garlic flavor will come out nicely. Now that is starting to get really tight. Now, to give it another dimension of flavor, this is chicken bouillon, powdered chicken bouillon. It's very good. I think this is a Knorr brand. And I just sprinkled about 1.5 tablespoons in there. And let me mix this up. You could have just used chicken broth with your potatoes. That would have been fine too. Let's get that chicken bouillon integrated in there well. Now see how tight that is? I like a chunky potato soup. Any food that you cook that's white needs black pepper. It just does. It doesn't matter if it's rice, it's eggs, it's potatoes. If it's white, it needs black pepper. I put black pepper on my grits too. So let me just sprinkle in a little bit of this black pepper here, or a good bit of it, and let me stir that up. Now I'm going to let that simmer for about 10 minutes. Alright, so let's check this stuff. It's been simmering nicely. I'm just going to stir it up. Oh, you can smell that garlic. Alright, so I'm going to put some half and half in here. So I was going to get the potato masher out and mash some of this stuff. But no, it looks pretty good without it. Like I said, I do want it lumpy and chunky. Yeah, let's get some more of that half and half in there. Yeah, this will be nice and creamy. So when you get this has got to come back to heat, but you don't want it to boil. You just want it just come back up to heat, and it'll tighten back up. It's already pretty tight. It'll tighten back up, and this will be a nice, thick, rich, cream-based potato soup. Let me get that last bit in there. That looks good. I'll be checking on this in just a few minutes. I just want this to get hot again. How about I taste some of this? Nice piece of potato there. That is really good. You know, I had left the salt, pepper, and chicken bouillon out for the taste in case I needed to make any adjustments. But I think it's about right. I just want it to come back up the temperature, and I don't even want it to boil. I just want it to get warm again, and then it'll be ready to serve. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Yeah, look at this. You can see it's just beginning to bubble. That's what we want. We don't want it to come to a boil and make that cream separate. We just want to get it back up to piping hot like this. So I'm just going to ladle some of this out. Yeah, see, look at those big chunks of potato, but it's also creamy and smooth. There we go. Now I'm going to top this with some cheddar cheese. You could top it with bacon, cheddar cheese, chives, whatever you prefer. But that, it looks really nice. Let me try some of that. Rich, creamy, just got enough texture to it to make it delicious and chewy. You don't want this, now I don't want this so that it's creamy and pureed. Some people do it that way. I like those chunks. I like to eat the potatoes. It's nice and filling that way for me. Check out my video on beef and noodles. It was cooked in the Ninja PossibleCooker Pro. Y'all have fun.